Guys, please be ready for dictation from the Hindu editorial section dated 15th November 2021. Ready? With the deaths of 26 rebels in a police operation in Gadchiroli on Saturday, the proscribed Communist Party of India (Maoist) has faced yet another setback in its protracted armed struggle against the Indian state. Gadchiroli, a largely forested and tribal dominated district, is among Maharashtra's poorest, and the Mayors have sought to expand their presence, extending from neighboring Chhattisgarh. There have been major encounters in the district, with recent ones involving the deaths of 40 Mayors in two separate operations in April 2018 and a landmine blast claiming 15 police personnel and a driver in May 2019. Gadchiroli remains one of the few districts severely affected by left wing extremism. Despite suffering significant losses to its leadership, either in military operations or due to physical infirmities and a shrinking of the areas of influence, the Maoists have refused to withdraw from their pursuit of armed struggle. In cycles of violence, they have managed their own strikes against security forces, but such attacks have not provided them any heft in expanding their presence or increasing their support base. The conflict has fallen into a pattern. Violence begets violence as insurgents and the security forces continually lose combatants, but equally distrib- disturbing, this also affects the poor tribal people whose lives are caught in a prolonged crossfire. The Mayors' inability not just to expand but also to entrench themselves is to some extent to the credit of the Indian state apparatus, both its security establishment and its work through development schemes in weaning away support from the Mayors among the poorest and marginalized sections, especially in remote areas. At the same time, this is also a reflection of the incongruence of the Indian Mayors program, which bases itself on replicating the Chinese Revolution of the previous century and its quixotic pursuit of armed struggle as the means to achieve its aim. Neither are the conditions in India remotely closer to that of China in the 1920s, nor are the peasantry, whose support the Mayors deem as crucial to their project, enamored of the Maoist program or its reliance on guerrilla struggle. The Mayors' refusal to acknowledge the diverse industrial base in the country, their rejection of liberal democratic instruments in the Indian state, and the faith of the poor in the robust electoral system have blinded them to pursue a futile cause. Yet, despite the futility, the Maoists retain the capability to strike in isolated skirmishes. Maharashtra must not rest on its success in militarily diminishing the Maoist threat in Gadchiroli. It must act continually in winning over the support of tribals in the region and retaining their faith in the liberal democratic institutions of the state. Following a meeting of its Central Committee last week, Chinese Communist Party passed what it called a resolution on the major achievements and historical experience of the party over the past century. Ostensibly about the past, it still holds enormous significance for China's future. This is only the third such resolution passed by the party in its 100-year history. The previous two resolutions passed by Mao Zedong in 1945 and Deng Xiaoping in 1981 marked important inflection points in China's politics and established them as the dominant leaders of their respective generations. The full text of the latest resolution has not been made public, but a 5,000 word communique issued after the closure of the 4-day plenum gives a flavor. It heaps praise on the contributions of Mao, Deng, and current leader Xi Jinping. It differs in one key aspect from the previous resolution of 1981, which acknowledged Mao's mistakes that led to the Cultural Revolution bracket start 1966 to 1976 bracket close by describing the history of the party as one without flaws. Looking back on the party's endeavors over the past century, it surmises we can see why we are successful in the past and how we can continue to succeed in the future. Explaining why the party saw the need for a new historical resolution, the communique said the party wanted to strengthen our consciousness of the need to maintain political integrity. Think in big picture terms, follow the leadership core, and keep in alignment with the central party leadership. The latest communique implicitly criticized the collective leadership model that Deng bequeathed his successors and enabled three peaceful transfers of power, praising Mr. Xi's core leadership for having solved many tough problems, never resolved and accomplished many things that were wanted but never got done. It also called for resolutely upholding Xi Jinping's core position on the Central Committee and in the party, and upholding the Central Committee's authority to ensure that all party members act in unison. The significance of the 1945 and 1981 resolutions lay not in their eye. The country prepares to take yet another political turn.